Welcome, everyone. This is my channel on YouTube, and I'm Zeffie Davy. And with me, unexpectedly, and I was surprised, we were just talking and we said, let's just do this because there's a lot going on. It's Sandy Reeves. She's a dear, dear friend of mine. She's a talisman woman. She's an astrologer. I talk about her and I get chills. And she's going to talk with us about the next week from Friday to Friday. Friday the 4th or the 3rd? I'm sorry, I don't have.
Well, here in the States, it's the 3rd, November 3rd.
All right. So it would be November 3rd somewhere here, somewhere in the world. And we just really felt like it was good to share because there's so much that's going to happen in the beginning in November and the first 2 weeks that I felt like I needed to talk to her and just put it on the YouTube channel, and her link will be underneath, and you guys can get in touch with her if you want. But Sandy, the floor is yours. Tell us, what do you think? I feel it's going to be pretty intense, but
I agree. It is. You know, we just came off the eclipses in October, where we saw were devastating, right, for the world. I'm a Western astrologer using Placidus. I just wanted to say, because I know you speak in your astrology language, right? Your Jyotish. So Friday, November 3rd, we get 2 oppositions. It just seems like there's a lot of opposing forces, right? Which anytime we get, something that's 180 degrees away, there's 2 people or 2 groups or 2 countries or 2 whatevers are not agreeing. They're on 2 separate sides of the kind of the desk, the table. And so we start Friday with the sun making its yearly opposition to Jupiter. And, I called this, lace up your boots. For individual people, you can climb if you have the right kind of the right like, let's just say the right shoes. If you're doing things properly, ethically, you can get somewhere here. But if you're not, there could be this conflict. There could be a legal conflict going on. We see this in the States right now, in some of the courts right now. But it's like you're judgy. There's wealth versus the religious. There's a lot of conflict going on Friday. And a little bit later, we have another opposition with Venus making an opposition to Neptune. And it's kind of like welcoming into, I call this, look into my crystal ball. No, don't, because there could be deception here. It's kind of like, don't believe everything you hear, right? Again, this could initiate too much gossip, too many things that aren't true. So really, that here it's good for creative inspiration, but on the big world scene, we're not getting the right information.
But also, I think the opposition can actually affect us internally, correct? We can just have struggle within ourselves emotionally because we don't know what's true, we don't know what's right, even what we own here, our own stuff,
right.
Own world, in our inner world. So that can, lacing up your boots is great, but also I love, the part of, stay strong, because you need to really understand who you are to get through this opposition, this struggle that is happening.
Right. And I do love that, because it's like, answer the questions for yourself.
Exactly.
Don't have others tell you which way you need to believe, go, or put your energy and focus on. Go inside. And then Saturday, man, Saturday is when Saturn, the planet Saturn, is finally making his station to move forward. He's been retrograde for the last 4 months. So this is kind of like when he's, back on the job. It's like he's checking in, he's clocking in for duty. So this could be good for someone that wants to, stop any temporary fixes. But for the world, it could be like, if you're back on the job, what's your job? Yeah. Right? Because your responsibilities and your duties and your tasks have come up. The respite is over. It's kind of like when we used to tell jokes, you know, be like, all right, break's over, get back on your heads. You know, it doesn't mean, it just means you're starting to move forward again. So kind of what I call temporary fixes that Saturn creates in its retrograde cycle, it could be that you've put things to the side and now it's time to get to them.
Trust me, I know that. It's happening. And it's amazing because also Saturn is going direct on Saturday, which is its day, you know, it's its day. It's our first chakra. It's we gotta go finish whatever we haven't finished, you know, that it depends with our first chakra, with our family, whatever it is, ancestors, we gotta finish it. We gotta go in and finish it because we've been lazy enough.
It's true. I wrote here, time is up to pretend.
Exactly. You're right.
Face what you need to face.
Exactly.
Because you can do it.
Yes.
The same day, we got Mercury making an opposition. Here's another opposition to the planet Uranus. And I called this RESPCT because there's a respect needed for the other person. You may not agree with what they're saying or doing or telling you what to do, right? Behaving, yeah, that's it. Because your way is not the only way. You don't have to agree with it, but you don't have to diss them. You know, you don't have to disrespect them.
I agree.
So, you know, don't you agree that when you respect others, even if it's not in the moment, they may have a good word for you down the road, right? You know, she's always been respectful. She doesn't agree with me, but she's been respectful of my judgment. But again, it's an opposition. Yeah.
Oof, we're having a lot of oppositions going on in November. Wow.
Yeah, especially at the beginning, especially at the early part. Now, the same day, or Sunday, and I like, you know, as a Western astrologer, I like to watch Venus come up in the morning sky or in the evening sky, or Mercury in the morning sky or Mercury in the evening sky. And this is when we start to see him again. He has been invisible because he has been so close to the sun. He's moving really fast now. And he's now coming up as an evening star. So we can start seeing him, which means because when the planet of the messenger, right, the guy who shares the news, gives advice, tells people what's going on, has been what's called under the beams or combust the sun. So things have been going on in leaders around the world, and maybe even in your own office or in your own life, that someone's not telling you all the information, right? That messenger has been in the sun's beams where we can't hear, see, or know what's going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, we know that to be true, that messages are, you know, we just had a blackout, right? We've been hearing about some blackouts in the Middle East, and no information is getting through at all, right? So that's part of what's currently going on. But by Sunday the 5th, Mercury starts coming up in the evening sky. We can see him. So it tends to me that messages, the public world, are seeing what is being said, right? We can possibly start believing things if we're paying attention to the news, right?
Or we don't. And just
or we don't.
Or we don't at this point, you know.
Yeah. But as an astrologer, it was fun. It's funny in my life that, you know, I'm not a mundane astrologer. Mundane means what's going on in the world all the time. But, you know, I pay attention to the news now as an astrologer, just to watch as I, you know, do a predictive, you know, like, this is what's going on in the sky. How could the world react, or how could our individual selves react? And then watch it happen in the sky, right? But then by Monday, the 6th, we've got 2 trines. And trines, you know, it's that 120 degrees. Trines are easy. They're harmonious. They work well together. And these are, you know, one trine is in earth to earth. It's like, you know, earth to earth, we hear you. And this is Venus making a trine to Pluto. And it's kind of saying dead serious. I called it dead serious. Like, say what you mean because you mean it. Right?
Wow.
Not because you want to be mean.
No.
Right? So it's kind of like you only want to have important discussions right now on Monday, and it'll be after the weekend, is saying, okay, we important stuff we got to get done this week.
And it's going to be easy because of the trines. It's going to be a little bit of a flow day, even if you have all the oppositions in your back.
And it's true because, those oppositions can create a stress, but then Monday we have 2 trines. It's like, oh, how can we work it out? Right?
How can we rest now?
Yeah, because Mercury is making a trine to Neptune, which is about multicolored thoughts. This is kind of where you need to speak from from your art, but I said your heart, right?
Yes.
Speak from your heart.
Yes, I love it.
So Monday seems to be a little bit, a little bit of a respite.
Yeah.
So use it productively and not just to go lay on the couch or to sleep in, right? Wednesday, we've got Venus moving into her evening sign, which is her Libra. So, on a personal level, this is where you can be getting, set up your social calendar, set your invites out. It's about laughing, being connected. Venus likes to connect and to birth new relationships, right? So she'll be here on the scene for about 3 weeks.
Wow.
And
I love Venus.
yeah, we love Venus. And so, watch for things in the news about women, about arts, about, kind of the unity, possibly about the legal system, Libra. I'm wondering if there are more talks about peace during this time, if we're trying to get more, because, Libra's peace. What do you want? What do I want? How do we keep the scale not completely off kilter? How do we bring it back more into, and it's about the justice system, the legal system. So the same day there, we have Mercury making a sextile to Pluto. Review what's true, right? What are the details? What is really true? What are the profound conversations or research? It's kind of like doing your own fact checking, right? Have you ever, like, I read a lot of psychological or philosophical work, and I'll hear a word and I'm like, and I'll go down the rabbit hole and do some research, right? This is a great day to do research.
That's great.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
And what do you feel about researching deep within yourself? Because Pluto is there.
Because Pluto's there.
Yeah.
Going into that underworld place where you are frightened it's dark.
Yes.
There may be some, rats and dead rats and snakes and in mucky water, but you need to know what's down there.
Yeah, it's a great day to review your emotions and review who you are. And if you want to really clear something, is a really good day. And not clear, but actually face it, to face it, because you go deep into Pluto and then wealth will show up from that.
Yeah, because it's Mercury. So Mercury wants all the information. He wants to pick apart, all the details. He wants to go through the files.
Yes. Yeah, through the files.
Kind of the Rolodex that's in our underworld, right?
Absolutely.
He wants to see what patterns are there that are crap. Excuse my language, and then by Friday,
things that we don't want to see, we have to see.
But we have to, yeah. One of the things, and then let's just do, and we move to Friday. So we can talk about that next week, but this gives us a whole week, Friday to, Wednesday, because that's the last aspect of next week, the 8th. But there is a lot of, how do we find the bridge? How do we find the bridge to 2 opposite sides?
Yeah. And I agree about, watch the struggles within you, because those struggles actually will take you to the next level. because when you're struggling like this, you will find the bridge within yourself, because that's exactly what you need to do, is come into this balance that you need to come to. Wow,
Yeah.
that was amazing. We both had the same feeling. We did it. It's intense, but we can get it done.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're given these times to face issues that we don't want to. Otherwise, our lives would be couch potatoes. We're not that. We didn't come down here for that.
No, and
So
I think we're
thanks for inviting me. Yeah.
You're welcome. I think we're coming to that, end of changing our lives, and the stars also help us within this change. It brings it right into our plates for us to work with it. So I'm glad I invited you. I'm glad we talked, and I said, let's do it. I really appreciate it. So thank you
You're
so much,
welcome.
Cindy.
You know, I
love-
always say yes to you, Zeppi. Have you ever heard me say no to you?
Oh, I like that.
All right. Thank
I
you.
like
Happy week, everybody.
happy week,
Enjoy and get busy.
and thank you for being here with us. Sandy's information will be underneath the video. Mwah.
Perfect. Mwah. Bye-bye.